Thank you so much, Tanmay, for arranging for the session, and thank you so much for the people who joined well in advance and being on time. So, just quickly wanted to understand the kind of background that you carry. Like you're already familiar with HCM or like other modules and want to explore ORC or quite new to HCM. So maybe a quick round of introduction will not, we'll just keep it very crisp, like whether the particular person has the HCM background or not, and within that, if HCM background they carry, which all other modules likewise. So if we can start with Samir, if you don't mind. See, basically why I'm looking for this information is accordingly we'll take ahead the session, keeping in view the audience level of understanding. Okay, Samir, can you go ahead if you're available? Okay, Ajay, anybody who wants to go voluntarily?
Hi Ramya, this is Sudha.
Okay,
We have met in our last session.
very
So,
true.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay,
I'm from HCM background, as you know, and yeah,
okay,
this ORC I'm new. So
okay. Glad that you have shown interest in the session. Thank
yeah,
you so much, Sudha. Okay,
thank you.
yeah. Anybody else who would prefer to go ahead voluntarily?
Yeah, good day.
Good day.
Yeah, my name is Ido from Nigeria. I
Okay.
have a financial background.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. So you are completely new to the HCM practice. Is that true? Okay. Um, Samir, Ajay,
Yeah, hi Ramya.
Swapnil.
Good evening.
Hi, Rukman.
Yeah, I'm from HCM only background. Past 1 year I'm working on HCM.
Okay. Okay. Overall years of experience, sir?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. Okay. And completely into HCM or EBIS as
Uh,
well.
Previously I worked on finance and HCM. Past 1 year
Oh,
I'm working in HCM.
okay. So completely into Fusion, but into
Yes.
finance previously, but now moving into HCM. Okay.
Yes,
So in
correct.
HCM, which other modules like core HR, absence?
Core HR absence I worked on.
Okay.
Now recently I worked on recruit and learning also.
Great.
Yeah.
So you wanted to have a full-fledged training on the recruit side.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for showing interest. Subramaniam, are you around?
From HCM. I'm from finance and procurement. Recently, my client has started to implement HCM also. So I just want to know absence management.
Oh, fine. That's fantastic. So you want to explore in the HCM track both on absence management, and now since this session is exclusively for ORC, I hope you get benefited out of it. But for absence also, we do have certain trainings which Tanmay can help you out.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for showing interest. Swapnil, are you around? Ajay, Sameer. Okay,
Hello,
no issues. Yeah. Go ahead. Ezekiel. Yeah.
good afternoon, everyone. I am Ezekiel. I'm currently in Spain. So, I just have a traditional HR background. As for Oracle HCM, I'm totally new. So, although I have a recruitment background as well, but it's still the traditional, not with the application. So,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Anybody else so that we can quickly get started with the actual topics? So, what I understand from the audiences already, you have got a good understanding about the ERP system and the HCM system. It's just that in the talent vertical, we have got this recruitment module which has gained popularity explicitly in the past 3 to 4 years. Like earlier, we were completely dependent on Oracle Talio, and we used to have integrations to get the feed into our Oracle Core HR. Finally, with the Oracle Recruitment Cloud, the, from the hire to the retire, the complete cycle, we can have it within our Oracle Fusion system. So just give me a minute. I'll try sharing my screen. Let me know if you are able to see the screen. Almost everyone over the call is familiar with this particular instance and the look and feel, right? Our HCM system. And our prime focus as part of recruitment module would be under the My Client group, mainly on the new person and about the hiring, like how we actually go ahead and hire. So basically, boarding and hiring. Okay. So when does the actual onboarding start? As soon as the offer is released, candidate is so happy that okay, everything is smooth and we are getting onboarded or try about a particular organization, right? So the employee record gets created when the hire action takes place, but prior to that there are few things which are executed as part of the recruitment. So employee record gets created when the actual hiring happens, but prior to that, if at all a record gets created, that is going to be a candidate record. So when we say candidate record, whenever organizations are hunting for a good talent, then they look for candidates, search for the candidate. That means they are actually recruiting the candidates as and trying to match the skill that they are looking for. And if that's a best fit, then they go ahead with the initial screening and then interviews and then finally the release of the offer letter. So in nutshell, recruitment is all about finding the right candidate which is matching the open requisition. So when we say requisition, it's the need of the organization to work for it if you have the suitable skill set. And if they are going to match your compensation expectation, then it's like a win-win situation. So when we talk about recruiting, there are several phases or the stages that a candidate has to undergo, right from the screening phase till the offer letter phase. So since we are all familiar with this recruitment, onboarding, and hiring, can you just um, tell me in layman terms, anybody, like what all phases can a particular recruitment process consist of? Just in layman terms, so that we can relate that into our fusion terms. Anyone? Okay, no problem. Let me show how a actual recruiting process flow happens. Actual recruiting process consists of initiation of the job requisition. So when we say initiation of the job requisition, that means the hiring manager identifies that there is a need to hire an external candidate in order to fulfill certain tasks within the organization. Then, as soon as hiring manager creates this trigger that there is a job requisition, the recruiter needs to complete that job requisition with the corresponding details. When we say corresponding details, the job name, at which location it is open for, who is going to be the hiring manager, to which department, what would be the cost center, and then what is the budget that they have for this particular job requisition. Then either they look for the organization will look for the candidate directly through various job portals, or otherwise they will outsource this to some third party vendors. Then they create campaigns or the candidate pools. So when we say campaigns, like they advertise saying that okay, in this organization there is a so and so opening, are you interested? So either it can be a third party vendor who is approaching the candidate for this position, or directly the organization approach as a full-time employment. And there can be other possibility too, that is candidate directly applies to the job from the career site. So after the sourcer creates those campaigns or advertises that there is a job opening, candidate will try to apply for the job. Then the recruiter will try to manage the candidate's response. Let's say the recruiter has approached and asked them a set of questions, and based on that, they need to be screened. Like, okay, how many years of experience they hold in this particular domain, specific to this particular module. And based on that, they try to do the screening, because there will be so many applications coming in from candidates from various sources. However, only the relevant profiles should be processed further. So the recruiters and the collaborators will actually manage these candidate responses. Recruiter or a collaborator or a hiring manager or a candidate will now going to request for the interview or arrange for the interview based on candidates availability as well as the panel's availability. So here we have all the four key resources involved whenever it's the interview, when it reaches the interview stage. Once the panel has completed the discussion with the candidate, he would be sharing the feedback with the recruiter, and the recruiter would be sharing the feedback with the candidate. So the recruiter or the hiring manager will be coordinating in conducting the interview and collecting the feedback. Clear so far? Because most of the people would be familiar with this process flow as well. Am I right? In layman terms. But only thing is, here we are just to relate those processes and how these can be set up in our Oracle Fusion system. Then the recruiter is going to create or extend the job offer based on the final feedback, which is going to be positive for the particular candidate. And then the collaborator will be finalizing the pre-hire task. So when we say pre-hire, it's a kind of a pre-onboarding activity. That means candidate is going to review the offer letter, accept the offer letter, and then finally complete the pre-onboarding task or the pre-hire task or the checklist. With that, the candidate's record will now be turning into either a employee record or a contingent worker record in our Oracle Fusion system. So from there, the transition happens for that particular worker as a candidate into an employee. So that's where the worker record gets created. The person record gets created. Till then, it was all the recruiter who was managing. And now, as this worker record gets created, the entire responsibility now gets on to the HR representative, that is the human resource specialist, to complete the hiring activities. Prior to that, it was all the pre onboarding activity. Now it's the hiring activity within the HCM system. So now is it clear like how the candidate record will undergo different phases and then turn into a worker record? Any queries so far? I consider that things were clear. Now, based on this, can we identify who are the key users playing a major role as part of the recruitment? It would be the recruiter, hiring manager, candidate, collaborator, the sourcer, and the HR specialist. So we can say sourcer and HR specialist as the optional. Why? Because by the time it reaches HR specialist, because it is at the end of the flow, it has already turned into the core HR. Prior to this, everything falls in the ORC. Here, it's the core HR. And then, not necessarily each and every organization will look for outsourcing. So that's why sourcer is also an optional key user. However, recruiter, hiring manager, candidate, and collaborator are, of course, playing a major role as part of the recruitment process.
All right.
Consider, sorry,
Okay. Just a very quick question.
sure,
I
sure.
want to understand the difference between the collaborator
Mm-hmm,
and the sourcer.
mm-hmm,
My question is pertaining to um if these persons are in-house. What do I mean by in-house? During the recruitment process, are they also employed in the organization, right? And
mm-hmm.
to monitor the recruitment process, I mean the sourcer and the recruiter, or they are just more or less a website where the recruiter has to fill, because the sourcer says create campaign and candidate polls. So is this a personality that does that, or it is the recruiter that just creates the entire campaign and all of that? So can we say that the recruiter functions as a sourcer, or if the sourcer is an individual personality, the collaborator is also an individual personality who carry out these responsibilities? And are they in-house, or is it that they are contracted outside to help through the recruitment process?
Okay. Well, that's a very good query, because maybe this query would have been running around in others' mind too, but maybe hesitant to ask. But I consider that this is a combination of two questions. So let me answer this in bits and pieces. One, that is the sourcer going to be in-house or an external vendor? So sourcer is generally the third party vendor who are in the system, who is actually helping in creating. So they are not directly employed, rather the portal access is given to them so that they can just help the recruiters in creating the campaigns and find the right candidate. So it's not the in-house, so they are not directly employed, they just get the portal access. That's the first thing.
So you can call them contractors.
We can call them as contractors, rather the correct word would be the vendors, because
Okay.
even contractors are like, in fusion core HR terms, contractors are nothing but the contingent workers, so even they have got the person record. Okay, so in layman terms we can say contractors, but if we are keen that on the fusion terms, then no, they cannot be considered as contractors or contingent workers, because they are the third party vendors who are just given access to the portal. They will not have any person record within the system, they will just have the access, that means just the user account. Make sense?
Okay. So it's either you call them a contractor or you call them a vendor.
Vendor.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Now, regarding your query about collaborators and recruiters. See, when there is a particular team who manage all the job requisitions, okay, whoever is the primary focal for that job requisition will be termed as the recruiter. During his absence, or if there is a small team who is managing all the job requisitions, one person will be the recruiter, and rest all can be mapped as collaborators, so that they can at least be notified that okay, this particular requisition or this particular candidate has reached this stage. So in case some during whenever the tasks are delegated, then instead of a recruiter, even collaborator can continue with the process in whenever the recruiter is absent, so just to delegate the activities. So for any of the particular job requisition, there will be one recruiter and rest all can be considered as the collaborators. That is just to ensure the smooth flow of recruitment. Okay?
Oh, okay. That's gotten.
All right. Yeah.
All
Any other
right.
query?
No, not really. So the collaborators can be like the entire recruitment team.
Right.
Meanwhile, we have like a recruitment manager, somebody who supervises
Right.
the entire process. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And maybe with your query, other people would also have got benefited with the explanation given. So please feel free to keep this session as interactive as possible, because recruitment is a kind of a module wherein we are already aware of the process, because majority of us would have switched into multiple companies and would have undergone these processes. Only thing that we are here to learn is how we can set this up in Oracle. Okay, so that's why the more you ask, more we can align with the business process. Now, considering a particular implementation use case wherein Oracle HR, that is the core HR, is already implemented, because that is considered as a prerequisite for recruitment module. And then once the core HR is implemented, either we can implement core HR and recruitment in parallel, or otherwise we can have core HR implemented and then we can go with the recruitment module, because ultimately the record is going to get converted into the person record, and person record means core HR. So core HR acts as the hub, the central module which will be getting the feed from recruitment. So we will break down the requirements and then provide the solution for the recruitment. So basically, as part of the recruiting and the candidate experience, what we do is we manage the configuration of the job requisition. We create the recruitment campaigns, and then how we can do the candidate search. Either we can build a career site, custom career site, so that candidates can find the right job or the opening within a vicinity of, let's say, 3 miles, 7 miles. Like in case that is not a remote opportunity, then the nearest office. And then how we can associate the geography hierarchies in order to identify the nearest possible job opportunities, and how this hierarchy structure is there. That means, let's say a particular person has to be held responsible only for the US recruitment activities, and the other person should be held responsible only to manage the Singapore recruitment activities. That means we need to have the job requisition structure in such a manner that when they access the portal, they should be able to see the job requisitions pertaining to Singapore only, or France only, or limited to a APAC region, let's say. So, how that particular hierarchy structure is defined. Then the actual job requisition. So either we can create a job requisition on an ad hoc basis by filling in the basic minimal criteria, that is the name, the hiring manager, department, budget, and so on. That would be a kind of generic requisition. Or otherwise, we can also have certain requisition templates, which we will be covering in our next session. That is where we will create the templates which can be reused. Have you any time created a questionnaire template? Are you familiar with questions or the libraries? Okay, let me make the question even more simpler. What do you understand by the term template? Then we will go with how is requisition template useful. So, what does a template mean? Something that can be reused at a later stage, like once created, rather than having it as a one time use, something that can be leveraged, that is called as template, because in the template we will embed certain information which can be used again and again. So if we want to create a job requisition of similar kind in future, then we can use the template, and from there we can fetch some information so that majority of the fields will get auto populated. So that's the added advantage of using job requisition template. So these are the activities that an actual recruiter manages while creating the requisition. So once the requisition is created, what happens is it's now the turn for the candidate, like how he is going to visualize this data, how he is going to see that data in the application. Whatever information we embedded the requisition, he will see that as the job description for the candidate. Generally, we say, okay, share the JD, I'll have a look. So, what does that JD mean? The job description. So, ultimately, whatever information is captured at the job requisition level will be visible to the candidate as a job description. And then he will see, okay, is it a perfect match to my skill set? Or if it is not a perfect match, at least am I looking for a kind of a role of similar kind, or is there any deviation? So as a candidate, he can have a look at this information at the career site or the job application flow. So we will define or configure this career site or the job application flow. So when we say job application flow, do you remember which are the sections that any of the candidate is asked to fill in while trying to apply for a job? Whenever we fill in the application, the job application, generally some personal details, academic details, some experience related information, maybe certification that he has, and what is the kind of role that he is looking for. True. Any of the job application will consist or look for this ask this kind of information from the candidate. So can you help me with some sections that you can remember while you had tried to submit your previous job application? I think this is a very generic question. I really want people to answer this because these are very basic sections. Please speak up.
Ramya, could you please repeat the question?
Sure. See, whenever, so in the recent past, you would have applied for a particular job. So, what are the details that you can recollect now that you happen to fill in for that for applying for that job successfully? Like just after the JD, it would have asked certain questions that you would have answered, right? So, can you just recollect which were those questions?
The demographic details, basically.
Absolutely right. Like for example, like maybe it will ask for the gender and then the minimal basic details, let's say first name, last name, and maybe just to avoid the duplicacy, some um, national ID related information, right? But that may not be mandatory. And at the same time, some academic details, true? Like when whether you have a graduate degree or a postgraduate degree, something like that. And anything on the experience?
Yes, of recent I applied with Avanet at
Mm-hmm.
Avanade for Spain, and I saw the job on LinkedIn. And, I
Mm-hmm.
clicked on it, and then I saw
Mm-hmm.
that it was referring me, directing me to their website.
Mm-hmm.
That's the recruitment site. I got to the recruitment site. Then
Mm-hmm.
I was, then I began to fill in my personal information. And then
Absolutely.
after that, I requested for my, after the personal information, then they requested for my educational background, that's
Absolutely.
the level.
Academic or
Exactly,
educational details. Yeah.
exactly. Then my certification at different
Mm-hmm.
level, demography. And so I haven't done that. Then I received a feedback mail
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
from
So
them.
ultimately, yes, absolutely. So thank you so much for outlining this, because these are generally considered as a basic information that any of the organization will prefer to capture even before processing the profile, right? So and then maybe they can also ask, like if at all they have the permission, for the work permit to work in so and so country, that can also be one of the questions. True? Work
Yes,
permit.
true. Certainly.
Yeah. And then, like for example, for few of the job positions it is mandatory to have certain certification. So either they ask for the certification details, like which are you certified in so and so. Like if they are very specific that okay, they should undergo that PMP certification, only then they can apply for this job, then they will directly mention like, are you PMP certified or not? Or otherwise, if they say okay, in HCM track, let it be any of the certification, he just need to be Oracle certified, that's it, then they will ask for certification details. So that means there are two ways of asking the question, either being specific like, are you certified in so and so module, or other way is, do you hold any kind of certification? So either it can be a checkbox or a free text question. Make sense? And it can and they can also ask for experience, like even though your overall experience is let's say 15 years, specific to that particular domain, what is the experience? Because what actually matters is relevant experience. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And which are the other skills that can be considered as the secondary skills? Because what they are looking for is the primary skills, but what are the secondary skills that the candidate has which can be a good value add for the organization? So these can be the secondary skills. True? And they can also ask for rating. That means a kind of a self rating, like in this particular domain or in this particular module or in this particular skill, how do you rate yourself out of 10? And what is the, I would not say budget, rather the expectation, that is maybe the current compensation and expected. Because in business terms they will try to relate the expected compensation with the market standards and the budget. All right. Any other details that you can think of? Maybe a kind of acknowledgement or the permission that they are going to access or store this information in their database. So, a kind of a consent from the candidate that they are going to store this information in the personal information in the database. So, they will also look for a kind of a consent from the candidate, right? Like regarding the accuracy and a consent to store this information. Any other section that you can think of?
Yes, please. Where does the reference and background check details come in? Is it here?
Yes, absolutely. Because once consider that this candidate was outstanding. Okay, so once the offer has been released, like he underwent the complete recruitment process, interviews, and all, then while releasing the offer, they will try to perform this BGV, that is background verification. So, for the background verification, already they have captured the education information, experience, and the relevant experience. So, they will try to check or validate the accuracy of this information either by contacting the institute or the organization or by validating the certificates. That means whatever certification details, maybe they will request to upload the documents, and those documents will be verified, the genuinity will be verified, and then the offer shall be released. However, this background check depends on the organization that whether they do it before releasing the offer or after releasing the offer. In few of the cases, after the offer is released, as part of the pre onboarding, I'm so sorry for the case pre-onboarding. They would be requested to upload the documents, and then they will carry out this BGV. So this is one way. So it all depends how the organization would have the phases. After releasing the offer, they do it as part of the pre-onboarding activity, that is uploading the document and doing the BGV, or even before releasing the offer letter, asking them to upload the documents, carrying out the complete BGV, and then only releasing the offer. So it depends on the organization how they want to actually carry out. Is there any other phase that you can think of, or wherein, so did this answer your question? Like whatever information has been captured over here, the subsequent documents would be requested once they have reached the stage of the offer, by the before releasing or after releasing. Because if they put a clause in the offer stating that we are releasing the offer, however your employment is subjected to successful background verification, then they will go ahead with this sequence. However, if they want to ensure that even though candidate agrees, they don't want to waste time with any of the fake experience and all, so they ensure that the BGV is all carried out, and after that only they release the offer. Okay. Generally, in case of campus placements, they are, the announcement is made that yes, you are selected. However, the joining letter or the appointment letter is issued after successful BGV. So when we say after successful, the joining letter is released after successful BGV, that means whatever academic details had been shared, whether those are accurate or not, they contact the institute. Once the accuracy and the validation is all successful, they issue the joining letter, and then the candidate joins. Okay. Any queries so far? So as long as he is a candidate, it's all the recruitment. And as soon as the worker record gets created, it gets converted into the global HR or core HR. True? And who all are the key users? Recruiter, hiring manager, collaborator, candidate. And we will have the role based access. That is somebody responsible only for the APAC region, that is Asia Pacific region, or only for US and Canada, or only for Singapore, only for Malaysia, only for Philippines, something like that. So either we'll have zonal access, multi-country access, or country-based access. Any queries? So accordingly, the job requisition structure or the hierarchy will be defined. So that is requisition hierarchy. Anybody over the call who has a good understanding about the security, if you are familiar with the core HR?
Yeah, Ramya, I have.
Okay, so have you anytime encountered the word requisition hierarchy or the job requisition hierarchy, something like that?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
So as part of the areas of
yeah,
responsibility, right?
yes.
Yeah. So now in the application, let's have a look like how this is crucial. Getting on to one of the person's record, and there we will try to see an representative. So let's look for John or Peter? Oh, Peter. I'm so sorry. I'm searching with the person name in the number. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So here we have John Adams. You're able to see the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So here under the areas of responsibility, we have, so he is one among the HRs. In case he's supposed to be an HR as well as a recruiter, then in that case we'll add a responsibility type is stating that recruitment representative. Okay, so it all starts with actual responsibility type and then the area of responsibility. Responsibility type, that is recruitment representative. And then how we are going to restrict this access. So if it is just for the core HR, then with these all objects we can restrict. However, when it comes to the recruitment, then we can again further control, like what is the mode of recruitment and what is going to be the location or the org hierarchy. So these three things, or rather these four things, are explicitly for the recruitment.
Ramya, I have a question here. So
Yeah, yeah,
the
go ahead.
many organizations now they are not using this page area of responsibility. So there is something called area of responsibility template and AOR. So uh, w- do you will you show in that responsive UI or
Sure. Yes. So the thing is, in the classic UI, either we can have the area of responsibility directly tagged. Otherwise, and we can also have the template created. Okay. However, in majority of the organizations, for other, let's say HR benefits or compensation, will have more and more people in that particular team. Okay, so we will use the templates. But for recruitment, generally we go with direct area of responsibility rather than the responsibility templates. However, I can show you how exactly we'll be using those templates because this feature came up only with the responsive UI. You meant the areas of responsibility template only, right? We're not able to see it over here. Maybe some access issue, but we'll try to cover in our upcoming session for the templates. Okay? Because that is exclusively for the responsive one. I'll also have a look and we'll cover that. No issues. Okay?
okay, thank you, Ramya.
No problem. Yeah.
And
So,
Ramya, are we
yeah.
covering the notifications as well?
The standard notifications. That's it.
The
Not the custom one.
No, not the custom one. The when the candidate gets rejected or any during the
Yeah.
offer. Yeah, so
Yeah.
those.
The standard one. Yes. Like where exactly the notifications can be triggered, that
Mm-hmm.
part will be covered.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, but as I'm clearly stating, only the standard ones.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. Now coming back to this one, yeah. So the first thing is what all things recruiter will have access to. That can be determined from this role based access, and that too from the scope of responsibility. Okay, now we covered about the job application flow, and in that job application flow, what are the information that we actually store. Now, when we say interview is being conducted, so prior to that, we are doing the screening of the candidate. First of all, we are looking for the candidate. So when we say looking for the candidate, in Oracle terms, can we say searching for the candidate? So the candidate search is on. And then we actually do the screening. How do we do the screening? By doing some disqualification questions. So when we say disqualification or the screening round, that means we can have certain questions like, do you have the work permit, or do you need any sponsorship? So if at all they don't have any budget for the sponsorship and they say we want the sponsorship, then and there, even though there is a perfect match in the skill, they'll go ahead and reject. Why? Because they don't have the budget for the sponsorship, or maybe they are not even involved in sponsorship. Okay, so that kind of disqualification questions can be set up at the screening level, so that the candidate profile is not processed any further. Make sense? Any of the other disqualification question that you can think of? Anything pertaining to disability, work permit, or let's say number of years? Minimum they want 10 years of experience and somebody has only 4 years of experience. Then if the response is less than 10, then disqualify. Can we set that? Something of that kind. So that will also be a disqualification one. Or have you any time been employed previously? Then if we do not want to rehire, then also we can do. So previously employed or engaged, previously engaged, or something on the qualification, and something on the certification, that if at all you hold this certification, then kindly upload the certificate number, let's say. And if that certificate ID or the certificate number is true, then only to proceed further, otherwise not. And do you think, is there any other parameter which is in a way related to the certification? Come on. That is validity of the certificate. If at all you have done that certification sometime in 2010, then 14 years back, that means that will not hold, that will not be considered as valid at times, right? So let's say there is some validity of 3 years or so. So that part also need to be considered when we do the certification check. So such kind of things can be actually used as part of the disqualification for the screening. And once the screening is done, what's the next step? Interview. How many rounds of interview? Is there any particular limit? It can be 2 rounds, 3 rounds, or even just 1 round. So it all depends. So however, there will be at least 1 round of discussion. That means at least 1 round is mandatory. Multiple, more than that, it depends on the organization business process. After the interview, what would be the next step? Feedback collection. And then thereafter, should we say offer release? Prior to that,
How about okay? How about background verification?
yeah, I was just typing in. Yeah, either we do it the background verification prior to the offer release or after to the offer release. So I'll just put a double star because it can see, having this phase is absolutely optional, but it can be even prior to this or after to this, but at least not prior to the interview, right? So that's why. And then finally, once the offer is released, again the offer needs to be accepted, and then the HR phase, that is the pending worker record creation. True? Any other phase that you can think of? Because whatever phases that we are
Screening.
talking about, sorry, screening we already mentioned, no? Screening here.
Okay. No. Yeah.
Yeah. And within that itself, we were capturing all this information. I would not say all this are mandatory, but one or more information of this kind can be actually classified for the disqualification. Okay? Any other phase that we can think of?
Offer acceptance before the HR phase.
Right. So ultimately, once the offer is released, here we can just say accept or reject as one of the action, because it may not be a phase, but it will be a kind of an action saying accept or reject by the candidate.
Okay.
And then into the HR, like if it is an acceptance, then only it will get into the HR, and if it is a reject, then even the pending worker will not get created. Right. So it can be just a particular task rather than term. Um, Giving a term as a phase. It's just a task by the candidate. Right? Okay. So ultimately, the way we are capturing the entire information from the candidate, that will comprise of the job application flow. And
Ramya,
whatever phase, yes,
anything
Alisha.
like after the offer, like the
Huh,
entire phase,
huh.
is there anything like feedback or something that uh,
After the
the
HR
candidate or mm,
after the HR phase, even if we want to engage any particular candidate, right? Because since in the HR phase, the pending worker record will get created for sure,
yeah,
because ORC is that's how ORC is going to communicate with the core HR.
yeah,
So what we can do is after the HR phase, as long as he is in the pending worker record, still the person record has got created, right?
mm,
Not the employee record, but the person record has got created. So with this pending worker, we can actually have the pre-onboarding task. So with this pre-onboarding task, if at all we want to get the feedback from the candidate, then also we can get the feedback like how did you feel this complete recruitment process? Any suggestions or
okay,
feedback?
so that will come in the journey.
Right, that will come
Okay,
as part of the journey. Like if you felt the recruitment and the onboarding process to be smooth in the organization, or kindly suggest some areas of improvement so that we can further enhance. Okay, so
okay,
that will come as part of the journey.
mean, what of in a situation where a candidate got rejected and then the
Sorry.
candidate is requested? Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, can you just repeat your question, Ezekiel? I'm sorry.
What of in a situation where a candidate got rejected and the candidate is requesting for more information on why he or she was rejected for the role applied for.
Okay, so basically, whenever the particular candidate is getting rejected, that means at this phase, right? As part of the feedback collection from the panel, there's a negative feedback. Based on that negative feedback, candidate will be notified with a rejection email, which is auto generated from the system, stating that even means maybe because of the mismatch in the skill set, or want to move ahead with other candidates for this time and good luck for the next time, something like that. So that kind of auto system generated message can be triggered. However, candidate may as of now, as part of the delivered functionality, we do not have an option to for to give to the candidate to request for additional information. We don't have that feature in Oracle. But upon
But
rejection, candidate can be notified.
so that will be again handled in Alert Composer.
Yes, that will be
Okay.
again as a custom
Okay.
notification.
Custom.
Yeah, no, for rejection, we can have an
Hmm.
delivered one. But if
Hmm.
it all some a request for additional information or something, then of course they have to either build a BIP report or something. So
Okay.
that's going
And
to be a
this
custom solution.
rejection notification will be from Alert Composer.
Yes, yes. This one
Okay.
we can trigger from the
Hmm.
alert composer, or even from the requisition. Few of the notifications we have dedicated for the requisition, right? So that part also, in case of rejection.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know all of that. Are we
Mm-hmm.
going to cover that too?
For the rejection one, yes, but not for the additional information request.
No, I mean what she just mentioned, the compose and all of that. Are we going to cover that aspect too?
Alert composer, yeah,
Yeah.
delivered notification in the alert composer will cover. I
Okay.
can just show you the navigation now, but will of course cover in detail. So
Okay. All right. Thank you.
yeah, because in the first session it will be a complete overview, and then we will get on to the segments in the later part. So, the place where we will be able to see the delivered notification or trigger the alert notification would be at the tools. And then here we'll have the alert composer. Alert composer. So it has been enabled at the navigator level, but not at the springboard one, but it's okay. At the alert composer, when we click, we getting in these all notifications. So here we can have a look at candidate candidate assessment completed, candidate assessment error, anytime feedback.
How about the rejection, Ramya? Is it there?
Once, yeah, 1 second, I'll show you that also. Actually, in case of a reject, when we set up the candidate selection process, right, there we define the workflow. So there itself we can say notify the candidate likewise, rather than triggering directly from here.
Sorry, not getting you actually.
I'm saying when we
Hmm.
create the candidate selection process
Hmm.
here as part of the interview feedback collection. So just after that, if at all it's a positive or a negative one, so we will, when we say notify, so if it is selection, you are successfully selected and move to the next phase. And if it's a rejection, sorry, it's like closure then and there. So if at all he is not moving to the next phase, in every phase we'll have this rejection one as a common.
And this notification, how do from where we can find and suppose later stage, like I
Mm-hmm.
had a requirement like this rejection thing notification need to be off for like some days. So is there any chance like after like that phase we can find it in the system directly, this
No, we
notification?
don't have one such functionality. And as you're aware, recruitment is still evolving. It's not complete, it's still evolving. So Oracle is still coming up with new and new features.
Okay, so there is no such rejection notification in Alert Composer. It's
Yeah.
only when we create a requisition.
And not at the time of requisition, rather at the
Mm.
time of candidate selection process. Because see,
Okay,
requisition is all about the job opening,
job.
and rejection is all about the candidate.
Okay, so when
Okay.
the candidate like pending
Yeah.
worker got created.
No, even before the
Uh,
penny worker. So let
okay.
me tell you one more thing. Like,
Uh-huh.
see, rejection in the sense candidate is getting rejected as part of the process. It's not like candidate is rejecting the offer. There are two things. Either candidate is
Hmm.
rejecting the offer, then
Hmm.
in that case, it has at least reached the pending worker one. But if rejection in the sense panel itself has rejected the candidate, so that rejection is different.
Okay, and if the candidate is rejected, then that notification is there.
Yes, for upon
Hmm.
rejection of the candidate, then auto
Hmm.
notify. That will come
Hmm.
in the candidate selection process.
Hmm. And if the
Okay.
candidate rejected that, okay, that
When
is
the
offer.
candidate itself rejects, that means
Hmm.
that will that then we will not say candidate reject. It will be the offer
Of.
rejection.
Okay.
Okay. So we
Okay,
should be
got
very careful with that
you.
terminology, because prior to that, like, because till that stage, it is the organization who is evaluating the candidate about the
Okay.
fitment. But
Mm-hmm.
once organization is okay with the candidate's performance and the budget and everything, then now it is candidate's choice whether to go ahead or to reject. So that is like offer being accepted or rejected, not the candidate. Understood?
Yeah, Ramya.
Okay, fine. And then coming back to at the alert composer level, we can at least enable few of the notification. And here there is one good example of additional interview slots
Hello.
request.
Yeah,
Additional.
please, I have a question.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Like, for example, if after the interview, then the process of everything, and the candidate passed the interview, and the
Mm-hmm.
company ready to offer the candidate the job, and
Mm-hmm.
for
Okay.
example, the candidate did not satisfy and
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, I don't need the job anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
how will that process be happening in the application?
Okay, so that means now either see, that can be handled in two ways. Either even before the offer is being released, if the candidate thinks or changes his mind, then it will be like withdrawing the application. So candidate withdraws on his own. Candidate withdraws on his own. But once the offer is rejected, then candidate will not have the option to withdraw his candidature. He will be only having the option to reject the offer. Till the time offer is not released, he will have an option to withdraw his application. But after that, all he can do is reject the offer.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so at every stage, like even at the time of screening, even at the time of interview, even at the time of feedback collection, at every stage we can have this particular phase introduced, because candidate can change his mind at any point of time, irrespective of in which round he is or under which phase he is, right? Just after the application, a successful job application, every time at any phase he'll have a chance to withdraw the application on his own. till the time the offer stage is reached. After the offer stage, he will not have an option to withdraw. He can only reject. And once the offer is released and the pending worker is created, even at that stage, there won't be any option to withdraw. All he can do is just inform, or it's a kind of a no show. That means his pending worker record will continue to stay there, because already he got converted from the candidate into a pending worker. Okay. And if,
Ramya,
yes,
uh,
yes, go ahead. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, no problem.
So I have another question related to candidate rejection. So
Mm-hmm.
when there is another requirement where the candidate rejects the offer, but
Mm-hmm.
along with that he wants the company, due to GDPR thing, to remove his details from the portal. Okay,
Okay.
his, yeah. So do we have anything like the organization can keep the candidate information till, like, suppose let's say 3 months or something like that, and then we can delete the data from the system. So is there anything?
Uh, no. As part of the GDPR, if at
Hmm.
all that information should not be captured if he is not an employee, then at the very first place, when they are collecting the
No, it's
information,
not, should not be collected. It's like they will be collecting, but
uh,
after certain time, if the candidate rejected and they are like asking like please delete my data or something like that.
mhm.
So is there any schedule process or something which can just delete the candidate
No,
data from the
purging the
system?
purging the data. No, we do,
Yeah.
because right at the time
Mm.
of collection itself, we have taken the consent, right? So purging the data as an auto, like Oracle has not given any such process or a schedule
Mm.
process, like by running that or scheduling that we can purge the data. No, we don't have that option.
Okay.
I got your requirement, but we
Hmm.
Oracle at least hasn't come up with one such solution to address
Okay.
that.
But is there anything manual like in any uh, data exchange thing
Yeah,
or?
yeah. Through a data exchange, all we
Hmm.
can do is we can have the person, we can pass some null values or maybe obsolete values. Let's say some dummy values for those person records. That's it. But
Okay. Through
deletion,
HDL.
absolutely. Yeah, through HDL, yes, we can do. Let's say any
Hmm.
for any of such pending worker records, after let's say their record was created on 1st of Jan, record creation date. I'm not saying effective start date, I'm saying record
Hmm.
creation date. Okay,
Hmm.
let's say it was 1st of Jan, and
Hmm.
he or she hasn't joined, and he falls in the category of who has requested to get the details deleted. Okay,
Hmm.
then after 3 months, even after 3 months, if it has not converted into a worker record, if it is still a pending worker, then we can pass the values via HDL, some dummy values, and then purge the information.
So it can be scheduled.
No, 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 it will be like a HDL bulk upload.
Okay. Can it not be done like with OIC?
Can be. So ultimately
Hmm.
you are building an integration. So it's again a
Hmm.
custom
Hmm.
solution. So either we have a
Okay.
dedicated HDL, or
Hmm.
which is being
But
performed
Oracle has not
manually.
provided.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Oracle has not provided. So either we can do that via HDL, or once
Okay.
the HDL file is created, we can push
Hmm.
this HDL file into that FTP or that server to run via integration. So ultimately, we are more
Okay.
getting into the custom solution only, but there is no any
Hmm.
standard or delivered functionality. Is that's what I'm trying to explain.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fine.
no
Thank you.
problem. Fine. I hope at least you got a fair idea and about the recruitment and the overall gist. Others on the call who are not speaking up, at least are you able to follow? At least can you give a thumbs up? I just hope that you're following. Okay.
Ramya, hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ramya,
Yeah. Yeah.
Ramya, this is the Swapnil.
Uh huh.
Actually, as you told that for the rejections notification regarding that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just sharing my screen. If you give me the permission actually, so I will show the exactly what kind of notification we receive at the when the candidate has been reject means that is suppose I'm a candidate and I apply some companies and so I need to know to what exactly what happened about my applications. So that's
Okay.
whether the reject or what kind of process. So I will just share for the reference purpose. I will
No
sharing
problem.
I'm sharing my
One sec.
screen just if you 2 minutes. Okay. Uh, f-
Okay. Do you
uh,
have the permissions to share the screen, or maybe I can
uh,
request the admin team?
no, no. Have you seen that? Have you seen my screen?
One second. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see it
I
now.
can see.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Here is the my Gmail account. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So okay, he is from Cummins Human Resources, Cummins India,
Mm-hmm.
Cummins Human Resources. Thank you for your interest, Junior Manager GCC Accounts Payable. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
here
Mm-hmm.
is there. Hello, Swapnil. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
interest in Junior Manager GCC Accounts Payable position at the Cummins. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
we have made the decision not to move forward your applications. We will retain to resume your
Mm-hmm.
database future consideration. We sincerely wish to your best wishes. No. So,
Mm-hmm.
commence talent acquisitions. That kind of notification, which someone asked exactly about the notification, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so this that same notification will generate by GAC Oracle means OEG, kind of like uh,
OEG or ORC?
ORC. This one OEG.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, fine. So, okay,
Uh, and
yeah, go ahead.
second thing
Mm-hmm.
is this one also.
Mm-hmm.
And this one also one of the first applied message notification which we receive, and thank you for your application. We excite to your interest in comments. We have received your application junior GC accounts payable. If you are requested to provide additional info of your job application, so these are the notification which you know automatically received from the their systems. That these are the automated system generated notification. So
Right.
it will me to understand, okay, my I am submitting my position and I got this message immediately. So and I understand, okay, my application is undergone process in verification. Once they get the satisfied, they will contact me directly. This is the first part, and this is the second part which my application got rejected. That unfortunately we have made decision not move to forward. These are the automated generated notification get the from the companies. So I just want to know from this OEG application can send that kind of
ORC.
notification to.
ORC.
Yeah, yeah. So same kind of notification will generate from system, and
And
candidate has got that same kind of notification.
yes, so okay, let me
So
answer this.
just
So,
just shut down my screen actually. Please.
okay, yeah. Fine. So, let me answer this in.
Just
Ramya, your screen is not visible.
not
No, no,
visible,
I
huh?
did not. I am not sharing my screen because I'm just speaking. I'm not sharing my screen. Okay. See,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to say is one of the notification will get triggered when there is a successful job application. Like you have successfully applied for the job. That is the second notification that you are showing. That is, you are
Mm-hmm.
applied for this position. So that is
Mm-hmm.
upon successfully applying for the job
Mm-hmm.
to the candidate.
Right.
Okay. And the second one is just
Mm-hmm.
on the rejection or on the withdrawal one. Okay, so the first one will be uh, set up just after the job application flow.
This one.
That is, yes, you have successfully applied, and in order to fill in more information, this is the one. And in order to understand more about the organization, refer to so and so portal, something like that. an auto generated response. So that
Right.
is in with the job application flow. The
Hmm.
other one about the rejection, that means application
Hmm.
is successful already, and then
Hmm.
the organization has evaluated. After evaluation,
Hmm.
they are doing this. So this can be
Hmm.
triggered either at the time of screening
Hmm.
or at the time of interview, both the cases. Because here
Hmm.
it is quite unclear that at which stage this notification got triggered, either even
Right.
before the interview,
Hmm.
even if it is a screen reject, then also they
Hmm.
can trigger this.
Hmm.
Okay, or
Hmm.
otherwise, for example, you have already attended one round of discussion and the panel may not have been that much satisfied.
Yeah, it's a go through different, the
Right.
stages.
So
We
in
can,
both the
yeah.
cases, it's a rejection, whether it's a
Hmm.
screen reject or a panel reject.
Yeah.
Then in that case, this notification will get triggered from the candidate selection process and not from the job application flow. So both the notifications, so we are thinking that these are all email notifications coming from the
Hmm.
same place, but no, that is not the case. One is coming from the job application, another one is coming from the candidate selection process,
Hmm.
So
but both
Ramya,
are system
how,
generated.
yeah, if there is a requirement to switch off this notification, how do we do that?
Then at the candidate selection process itself, we will not turn on the notification.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so every requisition, sorry, in the candidate selection process,
Huh.
so there will be link for this requisition, right?
Right.
Which
So there
is,
will be an
yeah, so,
option to
hmm,
select whether to notify. So when we say yes, notify, then it will ask whom to notify. Let's say
hmm.
notify the candidate about the
Can you
rejection
just
and oh,
show, if possible, could you please show one anything like in the requisition side?
okay. I think we are switching off the topic, but still I can show this one for now.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
thank you so
Just
Yeah,
much.
no
share your
problem.
screen, Samir.
I am trying to share my screen, but it is not allowing. So is it possible for you to stop the screen share? Maybe that's why it is not allowing me. Is it
Just
allowing you to stop the screen share?
select multiple windows. Oh, oh, okay. I'll leave and once again join. So,
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
No need
yeah,
to.
yeah, you got it.
I've
Your
Yeah.
stopped
screen,
you
yeah,
there. Completely fine.
yeah,
Okay. Now let me come back to. Is my screen visible?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. So let me show the candidate selection. So out of interest, since you have asked, I'm just showing this because this will come much later. So under this
okay,
candidate selection process configuration, right, we can actually set that up. That is to
okay,
notify or not to notify under this
okay,
particular task
okay.
at
Thank you so
each and
much,
every
Ramya.
stage. No
Yeah,
problem. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Because others who are actually new to the recruitment, right, they should not
Yeah,
feel
I
lost,
understood. Yeah,
right? That's the only
sure.
reason.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yes, so that was a good question. And of course, with these such questions, right, sessions become more informative. And with this interaction, at least we can have a qualitative discussion.
yeah, because
Okay.
these are real-time business scenarios and we are
Absolutely.
facing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
No problem. And then the basic documentation that would be preferred. So as you all are aware that recruitment again. Okay. Yeah. Hello. Was that a question for me? Can I request Adavu into get into mute? Okay, fine. Thank you. So going back to our documentation. So okay. So Oracle has given certain standard documentation which is actually recommended to be followed as part of the implementation. So recruitment does fall under the talent suit, and within the talent suit when we have this implementing recruiting and implementing hiring. Okay, so first we'll start with the job requisition template, or actually the job requisition, then how we can build the career site, which is absolutely optional. However, having the job application flow created and having the candidate selection process created is absolute important. And again, when it comes to the job offer, so either we can release the job offer offline. When we say offline, via email through the BIP report, or we can actually release the offer through the recruitment process. So it depends whether they want to release that offer through the recruitment or from the BIP report. And once that is done, how we can actually also do the interview schedule template, which is again optional. So basically, three things which are important and mandatory: creation of job requisition, not the template, creation of the job requisition, creation of the job application flow, and then the candidate selection process. These three are the core segments of recruitment. And who is going to manage all these things? So having the correct roles in place, that is as a recruiter, as a hiring manager, and then as an HR rep to manage the pre-onboarding activities. So the key users and the key configurations. Okay, building the career site is optional. And then building the interview schedule template is also optional. Um, let's take a 5 minute break and circle back. Actually, we're supposed to take a break prior to this, but yeah, a 5 minute break, and then we will regroup and continue with the rest of the things so that it doesn't become that heavy. Okay?
Okay, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ram.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, circling back again. Let me know once my screen is visible. So, as I said, job requisition setup is the most crucial aspect. So, let's have a look at which are the actual tasks that we need to perform in order to have the job requisition to get created successfully. So, first is that the job requisition template, wherein this is the task that gives the flexibility to set up the job requisition or the templates. So, this requisition template is going to contain the specific requirements for a particular job, which will help the candidates to understand what exactly recruiters or the hiring managers are actually hunting for, what the organization is looking for, what is the vacancy all about. That information will be contained as part of the job requisition. And the name of the task is job requisition template. Though Oracle has given the flexibility to create a requisition, in addition to that, if at all we want to create any custom fields or capture additional information, then the way we create the descriptive flex field at the assignment level or at the worker or the person level, in the same way we have the flexibility to create job requisition descriptive flex field, so that these attributes show up just on the job requisition page. Okay, so we define a validation or display the properties of the DFF for the job requisitions, and these are the additional attributes for that particular entity. In addition to that, we can have the interview schedule templates also created, the custom ones rather than using the delivered one. So the task is to create the interview schedule templates to help the recruiters and the hiring managers to save time each and every time. So once the template is created, they can just attach the template like, okay, this is how it would look like. That's it. So ready to use templates. So these are the three key tasks that we will be using for the job requisition configuration. Now, when it comes to the candidate experience, then we'll begin with the career site configuration and then the job application flow. Career site configuration is optional. However, even if we want to do, what are the things that we can manage under this? That is to configure the look and feel of the career site, how it should look, to what extent the header should be spaced, how the footer should be managed, what is the logo, how we are going to manage the branding, what should be the background image, should we have a video depicting the main features or maybe something about the organization which is not that confidential but good to know information for the candidate, so that candidates get attracted towards that particular requisition. Branding, the text, the font colors, and how it can actually give a feeling of that, okay, we are keen for the true talent just for advertising purpose. And of course, that should be genuine. Then the actual job application flow. So via this task, we can create the job application flow for the career site. And this is a sequence of pages that a candidate completes when applying for a job on a career site. Able to relate whatever we spoke till now in the Oracle terms? And then we have two types of candidates. One is internal candidate, that is they are already employees and they just can move internally from one department to another just to fill in a vacant position. Okay, or otherwise looking for the external candidates, that means recruiters will be looking for the candidates outside of the organization. So enabling this, the external candidates can opt into the job alerts and recruiting marketing communications where they apply for the job, sign in, and then as part of the candidate self service, they receive the they fill in the application and then they receive the confirmation about the selection or maybe the successful job application. And then if at all we want to link that with the Google map so that they get the openings in the nearby vicinity. Apart from that, the basic configuration. Like if you are familiar with the core HR setup, we have the enterprise wherein we do the generic setting about the core HR. In the same manner, for the recruiting and candidate experience, there are some one time settings that we need to do. Let's say the requisition number generation method, which can be very well related with the person number generation method in core HR. So that's how we should actually do the configuration or learn about ORC by relating the concepts that are already there in the core HR so that it is easy to follow. And then from which number the requisition should start, which is the organization tree that should be followed. And apart from the organization tree, which is the actual tree version that should be taken into consideration. And if at all we want to go ahead with the chatbot or the campaign, how we can manage that. So these are all the additional features. These are the basic settings. Then, as part of the candidate job application, we configure the candidate selection process configuration. So this task is going to define the framework to move the candidates through the hiring process to evaluate and find the best candidate for that particular job. And whenever we are doing the selection, we can also define the reason that why are we using this to identify that a particular job was rejected or withdrawn. Then each and every time we ask a particular question. So how is that question appearing on that particular page? Because that question was at some point of time created under the job library, and then the questionnaire was built. And that questionnaire is now being used as part of the selection. So ultimately all the questions are set up in will be available in the questionnaire library. And then from there we create the questionnaire template, and from there we create the questionnaire. And those questionnaires can be used for the screening and also for further selection process. When it comes to the sourcing of the candidate, so either they can hunt for the internal talent or they can create the candidate pools. Like whenever the candidates are applying, we can conduct a drive and have all the interviews conducted right on the very same day for the entire candidate pool, wherein we'll also involve certain recruiting agencies or the vendors where they can, these third party entities will approach as agents to the candidates just to check for their availability and their relevance for this particular job opening. Whatever fields that Oracle has given. In addition to that, if we want to capture some additional information, then we'll end up creating with the descriptive flex fields. And this one would be particularly for the referral descriptive flex fields so that the recruiters or the agencies can add additional information whenever they are doing a referral. Any queries so far?
So Ramya, after creating this descriptive flex fields, is it like the display of these things will be handled in HCM Design Studio?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we not necessarily all the flex fields need to be common for the all the countries. Let's say these
Yeah.
descriptive so in those cases either we can keep them as optional, but if we want to make them required, then the display should be conditional. Like okay, it is applicable only for US but not for Canada, maybe applicable for Netherlands but not for APAC region, likewise. So controlling that with the design studio is important, especially for the responsive pages. Now we need to see in the Redwood page how they're going to control it. So that's still a mystery. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, finally, when we actually release these job offers, that means whenever we are creating the job offer, it's not like for each and every candidate we will sit down and write the complete information. We'll already have a template there and we'll just capture the dynamic information. So when we say dynamic information, that is name of the person, projected date of joining, the compensation, the job title, the manager name to whom he will be reporting to, or maybe some clauses that something could be static, something could be conditional based on the grade, that is, to which, under which grade or position he is being hired. So some information would be static, something will be dynamic. Those all things will be captured at the job offer letter template. So each and every time, offer letter will not be drafted, it will be just recreated. And then, if at all we want to capture some additional information, the same story, that is, we create descriptive flex fields and capture that information so that it is appearing only at the job offer level and nowhere else. Okay, allow me a minute, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Sharing my screen once again. Just a minute. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Under the setup and maintenance, let's get on to the particular offering which deals about recruitment. Yeah. So here we have the recruiting and the candidate experience. Okay. And who will be the initial users, how we can set up the enterprise, the legal structures will already be defined because we have the core HR already implemented. And then what is the workforce information that we are going to capture, and main thing that comes here is the recruiting and the candidate experience, job requisitions, candidate experience, candidate job application. So these are all specific to recruitment, taking it case by case, that is recruiting and the candidate experience management. So when we set up the all the tasks, yeah, so we have got, if we say which are the mandatory things that we need to ensure should be set up, that is mainly the lookups. So the way in core HR we have the common lookups, so in the similar fashion we have recruiting and candidate experience lookups and the value set to control the list of drop downs, and certain profile options, if at all, need to be enabled, that can be controlled from here. And the kind of interaction categories, that is, candidate should be approached via email, candidate can be approached via call, candidate can be approached via SMS or chat. So those are the interaction categories. When it comes to the job requisition, as we discussed, for the additional attributes, we can set up the descriptive flex field. And for the candidate experience, lacking some access, we'll cover in the next session. And yeah, for the job application, since we have to ask the question and candidate needs to answer the question, so we'll certainly end up setting up the questions in the question library, and those all should be classified under the recruitment. Only then those will be visible in the templates and then those questionnaires. Okay, and then under the job offers, if at all we want to create the descriptive flex fields, we can set those up. And then how we can source the candidates by adding referrals. So those were the major activities that we can do as part of the recruitment and the onboarding. So as part of the session, do you feel that we were able to at least get familiar with some of the terminology, just instead of that layman terminology, relating that to the fusion terms? Agree? And then here, as part of, so once the candidate has accepted the offer and has reached the HR phase, then the pending worker will get created and that will continue to show up in the pending worker or in the new person dashboard. So this is the end point for ORC and the starting point for the core HR. So in our upcoming session, what we are going to do is to go step by step that how the particular candidate record gets created, how the job requisition is created, how we will set up the candidate selection process, the job application flow. First, we'll cover the mandatory things, and then based on the time, we'll cover the optional things. That is, which can be the tasks which are available but not that frequently used as of now by the organization. However, Oracle has given the flexibility to configure here. Okay, the first part that a particular recruiter or a hiring manager is going to do is to create the job requisition. So, when we say creating the job requisition, either using the template, or if there is an existing requisition and we just want to capture or default certain values from there, rather than filling the complete information, or otherwise we can go ahead with a blank requisition. So if at all we go ahead with a blank requisition, values will not get auto populated. We have to fill in the details at each and every attribute level. Now, whether the recruitment type is going to be campus, contingent worker, executive, hourly, or professional. So let's say it is going to be executive. What is going to be the primary location? So these all locations are in a way the work locations that have been already created under the Kurichar. What is going to be the requisition title? That is nothing but the job title. Okay, so let's say senior HCM analyst. And we want to build a complete team of 5. And who is going to be the hiring manager? David Wilson. And then who is going to be the recruiter? Whether we want to create unlimited or limited number of positions. And let's select the location as location for Australia, Perth. It should have got submitted. Let me try one more time. Not sure. Let me just have a look in case there is any approval defined for this, because this is being a demo instance. So ideally from this page we can have the job requisition created. And for example, if we select, when I cancel and select this as a requisition template, then it will ask me which template I would like to go ahead and leverage. So prior to that, we should ensure that the requisition templates are already created. So let's say existing or a template. So here when I select the template, here it would ask or give the option for requisition templates to be created. So as of now, no any template is created, so I'm not getting any drop down. So tomorrow we'll try to create a template so that we can select it from the drop down. And if there is an existing requisition, then it would ask which requisition. So I guess there was one position open for administrator. Or whatever the open requisition we have, we would need to look for that, and then we need to do the selection. So for now, we'll go with the blank requisition and try one more time, or otherwise we'll continue with this as a first topic tomorrow. Contingent worker, Canberra, Senior HCM analyst. Let's say 2 positions. Hiring manager as John Lee and Val. Fine. We'll continue with this particular job requisition. We'll try to troubleshoot why this error is coming in. And tomorrow we'll give a fresh start with the job requisition and continue with the flow of rest of the recruitment and onboarding activities. Okay. Thank you all for all your patience today and thanks for taking time and joining this call. I hope you found this session quite informative, like whatever we had the knowledge prior to the session, at least these 2 hours should have been a kind of a worthy catch up.
Thank you, Ramya.
Thank you so much, Sudha.
Okay. We will conclude here for today, and the same link will work tomorrow as well. Same meeting link which you used to join today. It will work tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. India time. We will meet again.
Yeah, thank you so
Any
much.
questions before we conclude?
A question is that regarding is that these courses are regarding implementation level or end user level?
This will be the basic implementation, not the custom one, but the basic implementation. However, what all things can be accessed as an admin that will be showcased, and what all things will be accessible as a candidate will be showcased. The basic implementation.
Basic
Okay?
implementations.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
Ramya. So, Tanmay, so
Yes.
if I have to access the recording, so I'm not sure. I think
Uh,
my
I
login.
think
Yeah.
I will
you
send
need
you an
to
email
wait
on
for
how to
12
And
access the
hours or
recording.
so.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that for that the course the course detail, please share the course detail and all regarding the duration, the fees and
Yes, for
structure.
sure. So you will get the complete details, the complete schedule, list of contents, trainer profile, and free recording.
Mhm.
So that will be shared tomorrow morning. Is that okay?
Sure, sure, not an issue.
Okay, perfect. We will do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye bye.